In this video, we are finishing up our look back at 2018. This is part 3. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hey, what's up all you Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. And yes, in this video, we are finishing up our look back at 2018. This is part 3. Now in part 1, what we do is look at the first half of the year. Part 2, we go a little more in depth into that nightly gaming scandal. It was a big controversy at the time, and the whole video is dedicated to that. And if you haven't checked out part 1 and part 2, I highly recommend going back and checking those out, especially part 2. A lot of interesting things happened back then that I don't know if everybody was aware of because things were unfolding very fast. But in this video, we are finishing up 2018, and we are picking up right where we left off. Before we do that, though, I want to remind you guys, if you haven't already downloaded BlueStacks, there is a link down below. The channel gets credit when you install it on your computer, and you get to play Marvel Strike Force on your computer, which sometimes is more convenient than using on your phone. But with that said, let's continue with this look back at 2018. So we are in July right now at this point in the video, and nightly gaming is going down. The community is really not happy at this point, and I'm out of town. I hear rumblings of a Nick Fury legendary event coming very soon, but it's requiring Kree. Now, that made no sense to me at the time. Why would he require Kree? Some people have said it's because of the Ms. Marvel movie, but as of me recording this right now, the Ms. Marvel movie is not out, so it still makes no sense to me why Nick Fury would require Kree. Maybe that will change in a few more weeks once that movie is out, but that is what I heard. Now, next, 7/27 is when we get some reworks. Now, this is from a later patch notes, but what went live on 7/27, Thanos got a rework. If you guys remember his kit way back in the day when he was first released, he was a very mediocre character. A lot of his skills had to do with, or one of his skills had to do with the Black Order, and there was no other Black Order characters at the time. He just got a huge bump and is still a very good character to this date. Star-Lord got a rework, and he's still a very, very strong character. And Loki was not a playable character at the time. He was a non-playable character, and many people were looking forward to this, mainly because of this thing right here, his God of Mischief on Spawn, speed bar filled to 100%, which is huge because many people were thinking that he would be a counter to Nick Fury and the Shield, but before he became a playable character, his kit was reworked one more time. So this version of Loki was never ever playable. Very, very strong. A lot of these other things remained, but this passive of his did get changed, and it's a good passive. And Loki's a good character, but he is not the counter to Shield that a lot of us were hoping for and a lot of us expected. Speaking of Shield, this is when they got their rework. 8/1/2018. We got release 1.4. And this is when we got Scarlet Witch, who was teased at the San Diego Comic-Con a few weeks earlier. Left me scratching my head. Ms. Marvel. This is when we got Ms. Marvel, who was teased at the Comic-Con. I was not sure why this character was being released, but she's still a very relevant character today. Makes a very good option for that 5th spot in the Defenders, and she's kind of necessary for that hero brawler team, so it's still a good character. Scarlet Witch, still a very good, relevant character today. I think she's a little more useful today than when she first came out. And of course, Nick Fury. This was the update that we got Fury, and we've seen the game kind of shift towards characters that you could kind of piece together to make teams into full teams that were being released. So this was a very important update because a lot of the effects of this update is still being felt by a lot of players today. This is another one, trait-based nodes. Yeah, if you play that Gamma Raid, there's a lot of these, and these suck. Instead of being able to bring in the characters that you've been working on that are good, you got to use some crappy characters, and it just makes these raids not fun in my opinion. But this is when they started, so a lot of stuff happened here. More campaigns and a login calendar. They changed some things here, so the community was already upset. A lot of changes being made to the game negatively. That nightly gaming scandal just happened, and then the daily login character was changed. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in August, there were no power cores in those. The character shards were reduced, and people were upset at this, that they keep nerfing things. Just wasn't a very fun time. Nick Fury's kit is here, and I don't think it has changed too much. But the important thing with this update is S.H.I.E.L.D. got their rework. The S.H.I.E.L.D. minions were very mediocre at best, and that's probably a little generous. And because of this rework, even without Nick Fury, you put all those S.H.I.E.L.D. minions into a team, they're still a very strong team, and it's because of the changes that were made in this update. And like I said before, this is where the meta teams kind of shifted towards these pre-built teams. Which is not as fun in my opinion, but this is a very important update. We also on 8.1 got more information about these event campaigns. Not very big changes, honestly. This is, you know, at the time they were big, but as it relates to the game now, not that big. All right, fast forward, August 13th, 2018, we get another dev blog update. And I think this is the paragraph in this update that is still relevant today. Updates to Star-Lord have given the Guardians a jet boost as well, and further improvements to Groot will be coming later that will make for an even stronger Guardians team. When I recorded part 1 and part 2, Groot had not been reworked. He just got reworked. This is January of 2019 that I'm recording this. They teased this back in August of 2018. Took them a long time to do that rework that they've been talking about. All right, next sentence. We'll be periodically improving existing characters on a regular basis. Not really. I mean, maybe their definition of regular basis is different than mine, but no, they have not. Where's the Hulk rework? Jeez, come on, guys. All right, Ronan will have his day. He has not had his day yet. He still sucks. Although, I think that rework is happening next month along with the Creep. All right, in September, we'll be beefing up the Defender synergy so they can be even more useful in the upcoming City Heroes Flash event. And yeah, their synergies did get a huge bump, and they are still a very, very strong team, and they are the team that I would recommend any new player to be farming right now. All right. Important day for myself and some content creators. August 17th, 2018 was when I signed my NDA to get access to this test server. I was very excited. Unfortunately, it only lasted for about a month or so, so not that big of a deal. Not as big as I thought it would be. So let's move on to August 22nd, 2018. Now, this is when the Chasing Fury event went live. And the team meta officially started on that day because we had Fury and still the most powerful squad in the game. Not much else here. I mean, we had some reworks. They're talking about trait-based nodes will appear with greater frequency in upcoming raids. Yeah, I mean, it's like all the other non-Ultimus raids have these trait-based nodes. Not a big fan of them. All right. They start to tease about a mutant origin, and speculation begins at this point for who the characters will be. I don't think the Storm rumors had started yet back in August. All right, then, boom, August 24th, Polygon drops another article. The title of this article: Marvel Strike Force's microtransactions go beyond the mobile standard. The game's community is furious over recent events and rewards. One of the big things is this thing right here, this Kree Minion Bundle. You could buy this to get ready for the event For $100, it gives you 50 shards of these Kree minions. They suck. They still suck in the game, and this won't even unlock Fury. This is one of the worst offers in the game. Memes are still being made about this offer right here. This is around the time that it happened, back in August of 2018. Kraken, he was the top player at the time. His roster was strong. He quit around this time, and Seaton also quit for the first time. Mentioned that in the nightly gaming video. But yeah, this was really a low point for the game. Let's move on to August 31st. Now, what happened here? This blog post is still very infuriating to me. Now, this was kind of a response to that real negative press that they got in that Polygon article. And I thought that this was kind of the turning point. And I think it was. But if you look back on this post a few months later, it's frustrating because they haven't lived up to a lot of the things that they've said. Let's start with this thing right here. We agree. We realize both the frequency and depth of communications isn't where it needs to be. We're committed to making it better. Really? Are you guys really committed to making it better? Because I haven't seen very many changes. The immediate action we're taking is establishment of a reoccurring blog post we will publish every week. Not really. I mean, there's been, what, 1, 2 in the past 4 or 5 weeks or so? Come on, Foxnex. You guys can do better than that. Which will include a bunch of stuff. Our dev team will answer top questions. The last few have been good, but, you know, they missed last week, and they missed a bunch during the holiday weekend, and, yeah, not as consistent as I would have liked. But the ones that they did this year, I am happy with them. I just want them more frequently. Every week would be nice. If they stuck to this, it would be nice. All right. Consistent values. All right, so Deadpool rewards getting back up to where they were. That was a huge concern of myself and the community. Same thing with the Thanos. Now, they're talking more about the legendary events, and this is where it's still kind of inferring. We've heard a related piece of feedback around the current Nick Fury event and legendary events in general. The requirement to collect Kree minions to unlock Nick Fury was frustrating to some players, in part due to the Kree minions' low level of synergy and meta relevance. Yeah, they still haven't had their rework. They still suck. They know they suck back in August. It is January, going into February, and nothing has happened to the Kree. They still suck. That, combined with the pure volume of events happening recently, has led many to feel there were simply too many heroes to build up in a short time. I felt that way back then. I still feel that way now. Maybe not as much as then, because I've unlocked some of these legendary characters, but yeah, it is still there. First off, we'll be buffing the Kree minions, not as of now, to ensure they have strong value outside of the Nick Fury event. They're not as synergistic as they could be. We plan to fix that. Still nothing in January. Rebalancing the stats. In longer term, we're committed to making sure characters needed for legendary event are also relevant outside the legendary event. And I guess they kind of did this. You know, what was required to unlock Magneto was the characters were okay. They're pretty good. This can mean individual buffs or creating better synergy. Were the same. Before we require them for a legendary event, we'd evaluate the appeal of groups like AIM or Hydra. Yes, but they're not required for an event, but they are required for the raids right now, right? They still suck, and they're talking about delaying the level cap increase to level 70. There was a lot that was happening real quick, and personally, I did feel overwhelmed at this time. All right, September 3rd, 2018, we get another dev blog update. Now, they tease Storm here, and I think earlier that week, we've had the official Facebook and Twitter accounts do show some footage of Storm, so this wasn't a huge surprise. They start talking a little bit more about the Defenders rework coming very soon. But this last paragraph is a little interesting. I didn't notice too much of it at the time, but Very important now. New way to advance your power levels are in the works, including level 70 content, alliance leveling, that's referring to the Star Trek, and a new type of achievement based on character star levels. And didn't know what it was back in September, but looking back at this now, we know they're talking about the very controversial red stars. You know, some players like it. I think a majority of the player base does not like these red stars, and they teased it back in September. Alliance donations will allow alliances to work together, increase the resources, and then you could increase your stats of your characters. They're talking about Star Trek here. This was actually very well done, in my opinion. And if they did the red stars kind of like they did Star Trek, or in a similar way that you kind of limit the progression and limit that, I think that would have been much better. What else happened? September 5th, update 1.4.3. Not much happened here. They switched up the Ultimus 5 raids. A lot of people are complaining that you need everybody to do it perfectly at the time, but by this time, Ultimus 6 was already out, and it wasn't that big of a deal. September 7th, we got the Eye of the Storm event, and then September 14th, we got another devlog update. Not too much happened in this devlog update. Loki, he became available in premium orbs, and yeah, people started saving up their orbs after this because he was only available there. Sabretooth later there, and I'm saving up my orbs right now because the rumor is Carnage is coming in premium orbs. Reminding more that the mutant trait will be changed to switch over your gears, and still more teasing about the Defender's rework. So that's what happened here. And then fast forward 1 week later, we finally got the Defender's rework that they've been talking about, and boy, these guys were strong. And this was the date that we got our second meta team in the game. 9/21 was also the date that I lost the test server access. Hasn't been up since. Don't know what's going to happen with that, but this is a big day for the game because those defenders became very strong. They're very farmable for new players as well. That's why they're so good, because most of these other meta teams require a legendary character or some harder to farm characters to make good. What else happened? We got update 2.0 on September 25th. We got some new characters: Venom, Mystique. Ultron kind of became playable, but at the time of me recording this, nobody still has unlocked him, even with that Dark Dimension. We did get Dark Dimension, which I think was fun, but it also brought a lot of the cheaters to light because people were passing this thing way too quickly, and there were people passing it legitimately that were getting stopped because I guess the devs didn't really playtest this as much and think that you could pass it in one shot. But early on, I know people were passing it one shot with the Shield team and some other teams. Venom did come to the game, and we got these Alpha Strike raids with more trait-based nodes. They're continuing to do that. They talk more about the mutant origin. Donations, Stark Tech, very good thing. Level 70 coming soon. In my opinion, this was a very good update. This was a good one. Not every single one is good, but I thought this one is good. And then later in the month, towards the end of the month, 9/28, 2018, they're talking about the Venom event here, and that Mystique is now is soon farmable in Chapter 5, and we had more rumblings of Magneto coming, Brotherhood, a legendary event for him. A lot of stuff was still up in the air, and people were getting anxious to farm Mystique for that Magneto legendary event. Okay, so the game at this point is moving into a pretty good place. People are generally happy with the game. On October 5th, 2018, we got our first Q&A mailbag addressing questions that some people were having. In my mind, I wasn't really concerned about a lot of these questions, so it's a little disappointing blog post for me, especially when one of the questions is about a Hulk buff still coming. Well, basically, they say they were trying to make changes around speed. They shelved changes for now until they can revisit it. We don't want to make Hulk angry. I hope they don't make Hulk angry. Well, why wouldn't we have a timeline for his release? It is definitely something we want to do. It's still not done, but come on, FoxNext, do it! Come on, do it now! You can do it! Come on, rebuff the Hulk! But that's pretty much it for this update, and then we get our next Polygon article. This is the third one, and this one is actually a positive one because I think the game is in a good place at this time. How FoxNext is pulling off a mobile mea culpa with Marvel Strike Force. This mobile RPG has made a remarkable turnaround, and I do think the game was in a good place at this point. One of these quotes from this still stands out to me, though, because I'm not sure if they've lived up to what they said in this quote. Let me read it. A lot of the community sentiment was deserved on our part. We were making changes that were a little tone deaf and blind to the perspective of the players, Ajami admits. It's a shame that it had to get to the point for us to open our eyes to the community and how to empathize with them. It did get there, and it did force us to re-examine how we got there and how we think about the community. Did it? Did it really force you to examine that? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let your opinions be known in the comments. Another quote: "We learned a hard lesson with that Kree bundle, and that does not reflect our best thinking. We fully admit we were too aggressive there in the pricing of the Kree orb and the way rewards drop from that orb in service of pushing people who wanted to be competitive towards Nick Fury." Yeah, that orb did not do a lot. Do you think they've changed their pricing? Do you think they've turned it around at this point in January 2019? Let me know. All right, next in October, we have October 19th, update regarding cheaters, because a few days before that, October 10th, the day after this article was released, or 2 days after this, no, the day after this article was released, this was October 9th, we had Dark Dimension released. It was as hard as they promised. It was fun the first time around, but it did bring to light a lot of cheaters that were using third-party exploits and hacks to get their way through Dark Dimension. Taking cheating very seriously has no place in the game. They've banned many accounts, so this was the first ban wave that hit. It may be the second. Their first may have been around core loading and credit loading, and yeah, it was a weird time in the game. But even with all these cheats coming to light, I think the game is still in a good place in October. And then we get another dev update talking about the Brotherhood, Sabretooth, Juggernaut, Pyro, and eventually Magneto. This was the third meta team that came around, and talking about Red Stars. This was I was very optimistic because of the way they handled Stark Tech. I thought, all right, if they handle it like Stark Tech, Red Stars would be good. I think the video that I did on it was we got Red Stars, the change that nobody wanted. But then they're talking about save squads coming very soon. But that's pretty much it for October. November 2nd, 2018, we got our second Q&A mailbag. One of the big things that was going around was that Yondu's passive with his orange ability mat upgrade was not working correctly. Well, they said that they have a refund for it. I actually invested in Yondu's passive, and when it was clarified what it actually did, I got the refund for this. Save squads right around the corner, and so is the Magneto Legendary event. End of November is when it actually came. They talk about who is available for these Magneto raids, or for this Magneto event. Wolverine, Mystique, Storm, Juggernaut, Sabretooth, Pyro. No Deadpool, no Cable. More update on the cheating detection and this customer service, man. Now, if you don't know what happened here, there was a video about a lot of automation that is going on with their customer service and how they're addressing it. So they kind of addressed this to kind of cool down the fire on that. Next, we got an update on the Brotherhoods, November 6th, 2018. And they're talking about some of the skills, some of the synergies with the Brotherhood. Not too much in terms of nowadays, but at the time, this was a very interesting blog post because we got our first look at a lot of the skills of the Brotherhood. What else happened around that time? Well, we got our release. Boom. 2.1 came out on November 9th, 2018. In that update, we got Juggernaut, Pyro, Magneto, some still pretty good characters, and when Magneto is finally released, we have our third meta team. Gather your best Mystic forces with Juggernaut. We had a Juggernaut raid. Cheating violation. This was the cheating update that was supposed to happen. We finally got save squads, which wasn't working in the beginning properly, but they fixed it, and very, very well addition. And in this update, this was the update that we got the infamous red stars. Not too much else in this update, but with the red stars, do we really need a lot more stuff with it? We got an update on the cheating, because apparently a lot of the cheating was still going on even after that update 2.1. November 19th, we said that they have banned over 400 accounts at that point. They're continuing their efforts, and they take cheating very seriously. Zero tolerance policy. It's a good thing, in my opinion. Then we got more info on these red stars. 11/21/2018. And at this point, my optimism is still there. I'm hoping that these red stars will be a good thing. I'm still having faith that they will implement it like Stark Tech. Talking about how they work, calendar, how we get them, red stars blitzes, talking about a three red star Luke Cage that we would be getting for free by playing through a tutorial. I was hoping that would be good. And then, boom, November 26th, 2018, a day which will live in infamy. Red stars are dropped. Now, I'm actually out of town when this happens as well. I open them, I'm like, oh, these are cool. All right, the RNG sucks, but it's fun opening these. And then I start to look into what they actually do. Those 6 and 7 red star characters, crazy stat increases. So yes, the red stars are here. A few days later, November 29th, 2018, we get our third meta faction in the game when the legendary event for Magneto is released. These guys are still a very strong squad. Not as good on defense, not as good in some game modes, but very good in a one-on-one battle. I still use them in Blitz and Auto, that stuff. It is a fun time. All right. Not much happens until December 10th. This is when we get another Polygon article, our 4th of the year. Marvel Strike Force's latest update is pay to win, mobile gaming at its worst. The mobile title and its community are at odds once again, and just talking about the whole gambling nature of these red star orbs and what it's doing to the game. In my opinion, not a very good addition to the game, and a lot of people are still playing the game despite the red orbs, not because of the red orbs. I don't think they add a lot of value to the game. All right. Then we get an update. Update 2.2. December 11th, 2018. We get 2 new characters. I thought it was 3 for some reason, but Carnage was not released in this update, and he's actually, and as we know, he is in update 2.3. But in this update, we get Spider-Man, Miles Morales version, and the Green Goblin. Not much else. Not much else interesting. We got another event. We got a Pyro event. We got one for Sabretooth as well. And then we got a raid for Juggernaut. So that is good for building up that Brotherhood squad. But in terms of overall of the game, it's not much with this update. Now, I was hoping that they would address red stars with this 2.2 release notes, but nothing was done. So later the week, myself and many of the other content creators for the community that were not happy with this get together, and we released this video right here. Red stars, it's time for the community to assemble. We've come to bargain, and the corresponding post for this video is still one of the more popular posts on the whole subreddit. The next day, Fox Next was supposed to come out with a blog post, and they did. Just a little later than some of their other blog posts. This is December 14th, 2018, talking about the Red Star power and how it's not that much, and eventually it'll be all back to normal. And the infamous statement, we recognize to reach this point, it will take some time and trust. But my question is, have they earned enough trust? Have they built enough trust over this past year in 2018 to earn that? I'm not sure. With all these scandals and things happening, I don't know if they built up that trust, for me at least. And their solution for that is to give us more Red Star orbs. Then they cover the elite Red Star orbs and the conversion rate, blah, blah, blah. But the Red Stars, they are here to stay. So either accept them or stop playing the game is kind of their message there. Then the last post of the year is just more info on Alliance Wars. It's still not here yet. Again, for me, it looks like a fun mode, but my main fear of this mode is that it will take up more time. I really feel I'm spending a lot of time in this game to be competitive, and I don't know if they like that. If I like that, shouldn't feel like a job. It should feel fun. It's a fun game. It should be fun, right? But that is about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look back at 2018. And I will see you guys next time. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this channel to 10,000 before March, because that's when I started with the Marvel Strike Force content. So tell all your friends. Hopefully they could subscribe to. If you like this video, smash on that like button. If you didn't like this video, smash on that like button anyway. It helps the channel. And or don't. But if you want to join the notification squad, slap on that notification bell. Again, the BlueStacks link is down below. My Discord link is down below, so you can join that community as well. I live stream on Monday and Thursday evenings. And I will see you guys next time. I do want to remind you guys to do your training, say your prayers, and take your vitamins, dude. I will see you next time. ValleyFlyin out.